Kim, is last week's performance by you guys maybe a little motivating to coming into this one?
Honestly, no. The motivation is got to play the Dallas Cowboys. I think it speaks for itself. Sunday Night Football, two pretty good teams, and that's enough to be motivated by.
Now that you've had a chance to review the film, just what kind of led to the Colts being able to have so many splash plays against this defense?
Not getting off the field when we could, especially on third down, not maximizing on turnovers, not stopping the run. That's the gist of it all. But there's a lot to improve on. It's a long season, so we got a chance to adapt from last week.
You guys have done such a good job of that coming in. So it's surprising you that it happened that way with the slow start.
Surprising, but got down the field quick, got 7 points right away. We were on our heels in the first half, and then we quick digging ourselves a hole, but it's a big hole to dig yourself out of. So looking for a bounce back in that approach.
Did they catch you guys off guard, you feel like?
No, I just think we didn't execute up to our standard, and they got pros over there too.
Looking at this week, what's the challenge from your perspective in facing and limiting a guy like Dak?
I think Dak's seen every coverage. I think it comes back to our habits of stopping the run early, making it longer down in distances, allowing our four-man rush to heat up a little bit, and then capitalizing on turnovers. If the ball hits the ground and it's a fumble, we got to be the first guys to pounce on it. When the ball's up in the air and we can pick it off, we got to get the pick. Versus this team, you give them second chances.
Is there an added emphasis on that, making those splash plays, forcing those turnovers more than most this week?
It's not anything different. I think we have drills that we rep every week that we focus on turnovers. So it's just about getting the job done and keep hitting the emphasis home.
Hi there.
Hi.
Did you get the sense, were they going hurry up to try to want to keep your nickel on the field? Did that cause any problems?
No. I
You were
think
sticking with it?
Yeah, up front, I don't think there was really a problem with getting lined up. I think sometimes communication on the back end can be a little bit more, that it can be stressed a little bit more, but I don't think pace was really a factor in that approach.
Kim, you guys haven't been blitzing a lot. Just how much important is it for the front four to get home and rush the board?
Very important. We're playing a quarterback that, if he sees single coverage in some of those guys, he's going to wait and throw it back there. So we got to make sure we help our back end as much as possible. The up front, we got to control the line of scrimmage, run and pass. If you can hit the quarterback enough, then he might start to see things or might start to pay attention to the rush a little bit more.
TJ didn't have a solo tackle for loss or sack. Is there anything that you guys need to do as a defense to free him up to make plays, or kind of how do you explain, a guy that plays at such a high level not really having the stats last week?
I don't really pay attention to stats. I think for a lot of guys, it's not just a stat-driven thing. It's, how's he playing? Is he forcing people to come to his side? If they're double and triple teaming him, that gives one-on-ones to us. So that's up for us to, do our hold up our end of the deal and make sure we capitalize on those. You can sit up here and talk about he didn't get the stats, but, he was still affecting the game. He was still making guys hold him, which they didn't call. And so, if that happens, then we got to step up. But, not every game is going to be like that.
With the lack of holding calls, is there something that, you guys talk to the league about or talk to officials about? I mean, how do you kind of explain just the lack of those calls?
How can I say this politically correct? The refs will call what they see.
Kim, you mentioned in your first answer Steelers, Cowboys, just Sunday Night Football. How much, as somebody who appreciates the history of this game, how much can you say about these two franchises and everything that comes with that, the fan bases, the primetime games and everything?
Bunch of trophies, bunch of great players. You can't talk about the NFL without talking about these two teams. You know, they have their Troy Aikmans, they have their Emmitt Smiths, we have our Joe Greens, we have our Jack Lamberts, Troy Polamalu's. You could go down the list, you know, and I think it's brewing for a good game. You know, it's one of those games that you couldn't ask for a better nighttime performance or a nighttime game, and having these two teams being part of that.
From a Pittsburgh perspective, you guys don't play very often, but growing up, your Steelers fan grandparents kind of hate the Cowboys because of some of those old classic games.
I don't know if they hated; they just never brought them up. You know, they were Yinzers throughout, and you know, but you can't talk about the Steelers being, you know, Super Bowl winners without talking about, you know, them going against the Cowboys all those years. And I just think, you know, when you look at these teams, it's good football all around, and you gotta respect that. You gotta be excited to be a part of it.
And they got called for roughing the passer on Justin early in that game. Mm-hmm. When you had Joe in the grass, were you thinking, I got to be careful here, or does anything like that cross your mind?
Well, you know, you kind of try to take what the refs are taking into emphasis. And so when you see that called, you're like, okay, let me, you know, be as smart as I can with the play and not try to pick up a penalty so I don't draw anything. But, you know, I can't do anything about it now. It's just, it is what it is.
There's a story or a clip that's been circulating of a story when the chief was talking about the Steelers-Cowboys rivalry, the idea of the Cowboys being America's team, but the Steelers being Pittsburgh's team. Is that something that you kind of see this organization embrace since, you know, you've been here so long?
You know, I think it's really cool that there's a Steelers bar in every city, but it all ties back to Pittsburgh. And, you know, to know that the Pittsburgh ties are spread out throughout the entire world, but that it only resides in Pittsburgh, that just means more. You know, America's team is America's team, but that changes year in, year out. But you can't change who's Pittsburgh's team.
Do you have any your earliest memories of Steelers Cowboys? I mean, you're probably too young for the Super Bowl 30 yet.
I think so. Damn, I'm not that old, but you know, man, let me think. I don't have any of the Super Bowls or anything, but it's just fun to play with these two teams. I think it's one of those things you always gotta look forward to. No matter if you're on the team or you're on a different team, this is one of those games you look forward to.
Let's get it.
What are the challenges this Cowboys defense presents for you guys?
Man, the Cowboys has always been a good team, organizationally wise. So I mean, like, you know, what they bring always is, you know, the mentality, you know, of just being a good team. You know. So, you know, they're down a couple guys, but they got a lot of other guys who are playmakers, and, you know, it's going to be a challenge for us.
As you mentioned their history, like, you get into the history of this matchup, Steelers-Cowboys?
I mean, if you give me a game, I wouldn't know it, but, like, I'm aware of it because being a football fan.
How does their defense change without Parsons and Lawrence?
You know, they would do a couple things now that they're out. We're expecting a lot more other things, I guess you would say, because of their absences. But, you know, like I said, they got a lot of great players still. A lot of guys to watch out for, even in the secondary, and, you know, how they move around to bear fronts to stop the run. And yeah, I talk every week. Come on now. It's Thursday. Yeah, all right.
Arthur Smith was talking about how you guys got on a roll in the second half,
Yeah.
and he said it almost didn't matter what was called. Did you guys feel that as it was happening? And
Yeah.
What do you think kicked that into gear?
Man, it was a surge, man. We you know, just everybody, you know, making sparks for us. I think Calvin made a big play in punt return. You know, that kind of sparked us. Darnell making that huge play. You know, that kind of sparked us up. And you know, everybody started making plays, and then, you know, we all came together on the sideline. It was like, you know, we got to dig down and keep pushing through. And, you know, I think that we just came up short, but, you know, just tip my hat off to the team because, you know, from my times being here, you know, that was one of the few times where I think that, you know, we actually, you know, looked really good. You know,
You feel like that's something you build off of?
for sure, man. That's something we definitely build off of, man. You know, scoring points on multiple drives too. You know, Justin doing what he's doing, the line doing what they're doing. I think that's something for sure that we could build off of.
What do you feel like you guys have to do in order to 4-game sample size? What do you feel like you guys get?
I'm sorry, what did you say?
4-game sample size.
Okay.
So, like, what do you feel like you guys have to do to get better, especially running the ball in first down?
Yeah, man. I mean, we could say we could do a lot of things, but I mean, people gotta understand, like, the defense is there to stop the run too. So I mean, like, it's not going to be just like, oh, we could just do our blocks and then it's going to be 5-8 yards. It's like the team knows, heavy run. So like, they're doing everything they can to stop the run. So I guess we just got to have a mentality of like, they know what we're doing. We know what we're doing. Let's just play football. Have a dog mentality.
To that effect, Najee, the Colts used a lot of run blitzes against you guys.
I did.
How do you guys counter that? You guys have a lot of personnel with different skill sets. How do you guys counter that better?
I mean, I don't want to go in detail, man. I don't like saying too much to the media, man. I say what I with the team, but we have to do a few things. We could do a little bit more, but like I said, I don't want to say too much. Just
Darnell hurdled a guy on that run that he had. Were you giving him tips on how to hurdle? Is that all?
He's been hurdling since college. I think, yeah, he's been hurdling since college. Oh no, hell no, his big ass. No, that was just him. Yeah.
As you get a sense with what you guys did in the second half, you continue that type of play, it's going to open up the run game.
I'm sorry, what you said?
With the way you guys were able to move the ball, do you think that's going to open up the run game because of some of those stuff?
Yeah, man. Yeah, I think so, man. You just gotta believe in it, man. It's the NFL. They got good players. We got good players, man. It's just a dog fight, and whoever wins it, man. But the mentality always got to stay the same. Even if you lose this down, the next down got to be, try to win that one. Just dominate your box. And what I mean by that, dominate your space. That whoever's in front of you, just dominate that, and that's how you go forward. Don't worry about the last play. Just keep going. You said what? Oh yeah, man. Man, Champ's very smart, man. A very smart player. Very for his size too. Very physical, just like Jalen. Very physical guys. We're not shy or scared or anything about him going in there and running the ball too, or doing anything that all the other guys would do. We're confident off of him. We're confident off of everybody they put in there. Jay Ward too. It's no downgrade from anybody, man. We're all excited about their opportunities too. Champ, this being his second NFL game, I'm excited for him. This is an opportunity to provide for him and his family too. So, I'm excited for him.
Zaire Franklin had some choice words for you on social media, in the media. Any reaction to that?
Nah, man, he's a great player, man. Great player. We was going back and forth at it all game. Competition, man. It just is what it is. He, tipped my hat off in victories, tipped my hat off in defeats. So when I saw that comment, it was more like, it was just like, I was just laughing. Like, hey, man, congratulations. Yeah, I'm about to say you won. Like, you can talk whatever you want. I mean, it is what it is, you know what I mean? Can't win them all, but.
Najee, if you guys are able to get Isaac back, how does that impact what you guys can do offensively?
Man, he's a great player. So, I mean, we all know what he's capable of. So getting Isaac back is just kind of getting another leader back on the line, have that leadership mentality, veteran mentality. He played a lot of ball. Been to the Super Bowl too, you know what I mean? So this is a guy that knows a lot of football, knows a lot of schemes, seen defenses, seen fronts, how to react to that, how to make calls and stuff. So, he's just a leader on the offense, so we need him for sure.
Even beyond the Steelers-Cowboys magnitude, are you someone who gets hyped up for primetime games 5 weeks in, the first one?
I get hyped for any game. I get hyped for any game, man. I'm excited just to be in the NFL in general. So, I mean, like, the Cowboys alone is just, because they're a great team, great history, and they, America's team, and the Steelers have a great team, great history. So, man, to be a part of it is just like kind of playing in the Ravens game, be a part of that. So, I mean, it's a blessing.
What's it like lead blocking for Justin?
Y'all saw me lead blocking for him, man? Come on now. Hey, man, I put my foot in the pile. That's what Mike T said, just put your foot in the pile. So, lead blocking for Justin is whatever could open him up. And doing something else that he's good at, other than passing the ball, he's also good at running on his feet. So, him having the trust that we're going to block for him, as much as I have trust that, the line's going to block for me, just to show that, we're willing to do whatever to win. And, I'm excited to even go in there and put my face in the pile and block for him.
Thanks, man.
Thank you.